So start off by getting yourself a piece of the freshest salmon possible. Go to your local fishmonger and see if he has fresh, wild salmon. Sometimes the salmon still has a little bit of connective tissue or cartilage. All you have to do is just cut that right off. Your fishmonger will do that for you, but sometimes I like to do it myself. You can ask your fishmonger to clean it up any way you'd like. I'd recommend, if you're not comfortable, have him take the skin off for you. Also, if you want him to cut it in half for you, ask him. I like doing it myself. I cut it in half the thick way like that. That way I have two nice, beautiful, thick squares instead of two skinny, long pieces. Now to remove the skin, it's very easy. You just use a sharp knife. Make sure your fish is really dry, your cutting board's really dry. And I just use the knife and I just kind of cut along the bottom while pressing down on the cutting board with my knife. And it just kind of cuts right off. So you're good to go at that point. It's very easy. Get rid of your skin. And now I'm going to remove that bloodline, is that gray part on the flesh. So I just use a sharp knife and I do long slices and I just kind of round my knife at the end of the slice and it will come right off. Very easy, completely optional. You can eat it, but I like to remove it. Now let's start with the butter sauce. So the butter sauce requires a few sliced shallots. You can slice them thick, some herbs, some herb stems, some peppercorns. You can throw bay leaf in there. You can throw thyme, and then just add about 1 to 2 cups of white wine, dry white wine. Reduce that down, and once it's almost all the way dry like that, add about half a cup of cream. Reduce that cream down until it's about halfway there, and you're gonna add cold butter. Now, keep the heat really, really low. Add your cold butter and stir. When the butter is almost completely emulsified, turn the heat off because the residual heat from that pot is gonna melt the butter. You don't wanna bring this to a boil, it will break. You wanna keep this like right above body temperature. Go ahead and strain it. And then what you can do to keep it is just place it somewhere warm on the stove. It wants to be around 120 degrees, right? So a little above body temperature. If it gets too hot, it's gonna break. If it gets too cold, it's gonna break. So just keep it somewhere warm, or you can keep it on a low flame in a water bath on the stove. It will keep for about 10 to 15 minutes at room temp, so that's totally fine. Now let's sear our salmon. Now searing salmon and fish is very easy, but you just want to do the fish in the pan. You don't want to do the sauce too most times. So get yourself a hot saute pan. Make sure the saute pan is nice and clean. Add a generous amount of oil, salt, pepper, and then give it a hard sear over high heat. When it's almost all the way cooked on the one side, add butter, give it a flip, turn your flame down, and then you can just baste that hot butter over the salmon. Now this is a beautiful technique to cook fish. It doesn't overcook the fish, it keeps it nice and moist, and it's very flavorful from that butter and that nice crispy sear. So again, oil, hard sear, and then you add your butter. You don't add your butter first, otherwise your fish isn't gonna sear nicely. So there's your beautiful piece of seared fish. And then we put it on a plate. Obviously use any vegetable garnish you want. I'm just showing you the fish and butter sauce in this video. And then add your beautiful butter sauce. This is called a beurre blanc. I added a little chopped dill to the beurre blanc. I'm adding a little more chopped dill on top. Very simple and very elegant and very delicious. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe, hit that like, and see you next time.